The honourable member for Coquitlam, Port Coquitlam.
So, you didn't...
Mr. Speaker, I'm pleased to stand before you today to speak to C-224, the Good Samaritan Drug Overdose Act. Le mois dernier,
Last month, I had the pleasure of sitting in the Senate gallery during report stage and third reading of the bill. The Standing Senate Committee on Legal and Constitutional Affairs amended the bill in committee to correct some errors and omissions in my original version. The amendments to Bill C-224 are in line with my objectives and my intention when I wrote the bill. I also believe they clarify certain points. Notably, they provide more certainty for people who are forced to call 911 in cases of overdose.
I have to thank the Senate for not only accepting my bill, but frankly, making it better. They tightened up the language to ensure that a person who is being given assistance will not be charged, nor will anyone accompanying them be charged. That's the intent. So long as they are giving assistance, then they cannot be charged or convicted for possession. Another Senate clarification makes it clear that both those who remain at the scene of the drug overdose and those who accompany the victim to seek medical assistance are also protected. Again, the Senate reinforced the language to ensure that the person suffering from an overdose is equally protected from prosecution. If someone is suffering an overdose or a friend comes to help, they may already be under some other court order for possession charges. The bill, as amended by the Senate, makes it clear this will not be held against them. Mr. Speaker, this was sober second thought in action. Senators have demonstrated once again that their collective scope and depth of knowledge really does make better law. I am grateful to Senator Larry Campbell for sponsoring the bill and to Senators Murray Sinclair and Vern White for their amendments, which reflect their expertise in judicial proceedings and law enforcement. In Senator Campbell's third reading speech in the other place, he talked about the lives that have been lost in our home province. At the time he introduced the bill, he stated that 600 British Columbians lost their lives to drug overdoses. And by the end of 2016, 914 had died that year alone. We share the same hope that when this bill becomes law, this number will start to decline. Mr. Speaker, the scourge of overdose deaths is increasing across Canada, from coast to coast to coast. And the number of overdose deaths is rising. This bill won't fix the entire opioid problem. It only addresses one small piece of the puzzle. We all know that. Toutes les députés de cette chambre.
All members of this House, as well as members of the Senate, know that in order to fight effectively against opioid overdoses in Canada, we need to take rapid action as legislators. This is why the Standing Senate Committee on Legal and Constitutional Affairs, in its report, asks both houses to study Bill C-224 as quickly as possible. This is why we are debating Bill C-224 today, because it was decided that it should be studied and take precedence over other bills. And this was decided just 1 week after the Senate issued its report.
C'est vraiment en moi. Monsieur Speaker, I urge all my colleagues here in the House to come together today. Let's pass C-224. We can send an important message to all Canadians that together we can start saving lives. Saving lives through a very simple action. By telling Canadians it is okay to call for help. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.